Should you work for a startup? Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're seeing my pretty face, my name is Andy and I am an engineering lead living and working in London for one of the world's largest fintechs. What's an engineering lead? So I manage a team of 15 engineers in QA on a day-to-day basis, and I still try and code a little bit in between my 8 hours of Zoom every single day. But you look so young. Thanks, mate. That's right, I just turned 28. What does this guy know about startups? You said your company was massive. So I joined my company a little over 4 years ago when we were a true startup. And I think I was the fourth back-end engineer in the office, and now we're at over 300 in the tech department. Now, I'm not saying you'll be lucky enough to end up in a company like mine. I realise I was lucky. But there are so many other advantages to working in a startup, and I'm just going to show you mine, or tell you mine, and really explain it with my experiences in mind. So my number one reason to join a startup is for the opportunities. Now, this is the obvious one, at least speaking from my past experiences. If you're lucky enough to be in a position where you join a promising startup that is planning to scale over the course of the next few years, then you are in a perfect opportunity. So you imagine you join a company and there's 2, 3, 4 engineers. Now, there may only be one product at this time, or you may be looking after many. But as the company grows and scales, so will the tech department. As the team grows, the team will split. You may start as one team, and then that team will split into 2. And then they'll split into 4. This is what happened to me. We were one engineering team. Now we're 20, 30 product teams. Now, if you want to go down the management path, or at least have the opportunity to lead teams, this is honestly the perfect place to start. If management isn't what you want, there are so many other opportunities as well. Now, you're a small team, but you've still got to do just as much as larger companies. You'll probably need to learn DevOps. You'll have to write product requirements. You may even have to be your own product manager sometimes. You may have to be the database administrator. There are so many areas of tech and so many opportunities that you can sort of dive into and have a go at, which you just wouldn't have at a larger company. And you can really, maybe you're not even sure if you want to be a software engineer for the rest of your life. You just have opportunities to try so many different aspects of the business, or at least just in the technical side of the business. This is one of the reasons I would suggest working for a startup. The next reason relates very closely to the first. And just like getting lots of opportunities, you're going to get lots of responsibilities. If you're working for a startup, it's likely the company is very small, as is the tech department. You may be one of 2 or 3 engineers, and you're probably working on the company's flagship product, or you're looking after a suite of applications if you're using microservices. For a junior member of the team, this responsibility can be massive. It can be something you've never experienced before. If you're working for a large company, it's likely that you're in a team of 5, 10, 20 engineers all sharing responsibility over the applications. And now you've come in and you've worked on a feature, you've worked on a microservice, and all of a sudden you've got entire ownership and responsibility of this thing. Maybe you've been given complete responsibility over the CI/CD process or the database you showed an interest in. Maybe you've had to introduce observability and you're the complete owner of all metrics and alerts in the company. Now, this can be massive and very, very rewarding. Perhaps the most important thing working at a startup teaches you is that hard work, thinking creatively, and determination go so far. Startups are a true meritocracy. And by meritocracy, I mean hard work gets noticed. And if you don't work hard, you will fail. Now, every single feature you build or every bug you fix has a massive impact on the company, and you can see it yourself. Every time you succeed, you get noticed and rewarded. Every time you fail, it's a brilliant life lesson learned. These combined, along with the work ethic of everybody else in the company, teaches you that hard work pays off. It becomes impossible to get lazy and slack off. You'll cut out all of these mistakes and you'll learn lessons so much faster than if you worked in a larger company. Once you've created something and truly put your stamp on it, it is so rewarding. And this only makes you want to work harder. Obviously, this can be very tiring. And a lot of people do get burnt out working at startups. But if you can handle it, you can prove yourself and you can teach yourself the benefits of hard work. You can take this skill with you anywhere. This one makes all the hard-working, gritty and determination points worth it. And it's probably the reason most people actually end up joining a startup. And I can tell you from my case, it was actually 100% true. You get to work with innovators and in an exciting atmosphere every day with an incredible culture. The difference I see with my company now compared to 4 years ago, it was a work hard, play hard environment. Long hours in the office, yes. But I was surrounded by innovators. I was in an arm's reach of the CTO, the CFO, the CEO. I could hear sales just across the room on the phone selling my product. The atmosphere is honestly incredible. Multiple times a week, we'd go to the pub. We had endless fun team building activities. Our CEO took us skiing in the Swiss Alps and wine tasting in Bordeaux. We'd go to crazy golf. We'd have ping pong nights, casino nights. We had such a great relationship. And we would have weekly football. And this is when there were 40 people in the office. And 10, 15 people would turn up to football each week. We now have an office of 800. And you hardly get 10 people turning up to football. We've lost the connectivity or the community that we had as a startup. And yes, as the company grows, unfortunately, the togetherness dissipates. And yeah, now I have a team of 15 and a company worth billions. But I've grown enormously, so I wouldn't give this up now. But this is another point that comes with it. Because you get to be part of it all. And that's a massively rewarding thing. You have a real passion and investment in it. And to be honest, it's not where you start and it's not where you finish. It's the journey you go on. And in my case, this is very true. Yes, I did enjoy the culture and the environment when we were a small startup, but I would never give up any of the journey I've been on from this point where I joined a small company with a few engineers, and now I'm in a company that's just been valued at 15 billion. Finally is stock options. Now, you might not be as lucky as me and join a company destined for success, but you might be. There's always a chance of hitting it big by joining a startup that's going to go public. You may even be the driving force in this, but I would take this one with caution, as companies can often use options as an incentive to pay you less. You really need to consider the possibility of the company failing and whether it would still be worth it for you. You've got to remember, 95% of startups don't make it. So don't let this point be the deciding factor in whether you take a job or not. It's just a bonus. So those are my top reasons to consider joining a startup. It's not for everyone. You do need to be a certain type of person. I have witnessed countless people join only to quit or to be let go because they just can't cut it. You do have to work hard. You do have to invest a lot of yourself in it. But it is worth every second for the opportunities, responsibilities, and lessons you will learn. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. And if you've liked listening to my advice, or maybe you don't like my advice, maybe you just like listening to my voice, that's totally fine. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'll be eternally grateful, honestly. Let me know what you thought in the comments section below. Let me know what topics you'd like to hear from me. And thank you for watching. Until next time.